Good morning, good afternoon. Thanks everybody who's able to join us for the webinar we're doing today, which is healthcare reporting with Oracle Cloud. So this should be a good session for everybody. My name is Austin Coons. I'm Oracle's executive sponsor for our healthcare group. So hopefully you guys get a lot out of this. And if you have some questions after the fact, feel free to reach out to myself or Jaime with any further questions. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Erica.
Thank you so much, Jaime. Welcome, everybody. My name is Erica, and welcome to today's Oracle webinar on healthcare reporting with Oracle Cloud. In this session, we'll explore how Oracle's advanced cloud technologies can transform healthcare, data management, reporting, and analytics, with the healthcare industry facing increasing demands for better insights, faster decision-making, and improved patient outcomes. Leveraging cloud solutions has never been more essential. In today's webinar, we have Jaime with the Oracle Healthcare team. We also have Joe, who is part of the Trilogy team, and Prakash and Albert that are part of the NexInfo team. And for today's agenda, we have something very special prepared for you guys. We have a couple of demos that I think everybody will find fascinating, and everybody will go ahead and contribute to this awesome webinar. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead and enter them in our chat. We can go ahead and answer some of those during the webinar in the chat, and we will go ahead and try and do most of the questions at the end. So thank you very much, and over to you.
Next slide. Hi. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jaime Salvat. I'm an application sales manager in Oracle's healthcare group. I wanted to start off today just to begin with a look at the broad spectrum of healthcare organizations that Oracle serves. As you can see, Oracle's ERP and reporting solutions are trusted by a wide and diverse range of healthcare customers, including hospitals, healthcare providers, payers, and academic centers. This wide reach allows Oracle to address the unique needs of each healthcare segment, whether it's supporting the operational needs of a hospital or ambulatory physician practice, streamlining the financial processes for a payer organization, or enabling academic institutions to integrate their research and clinical efforts. Oracle's ERP solutions provide the tools needed to enhance efficiency, compliance, and decision-making. Our extensive customer base reflects Oracle's deep understanding of the healthcare landscape, allowing us to tailor our solutions for organizations of all sizes, small and large, and complexities within the sector. Next slide. Thank you. It seems a little delay there. Oracle's success in healthcare is really built upon the dedication of a customer-first mindset, which is clearly reflected across our three key areas: innovation, community, and recognition. Oracle's commitment to innovation is demonstrated through a substantial investment in technology. We invest billions of dollars annually in research and development, ensuring that our solutions are maintained at the cutting edge. In fact, Oracle has consistently delivered 98% of our product roadmap, a true testament to our ability to follow through on promises. This results in hundreds of new features each year, designed to enhance functionality, security, and user experience, all of which are tailored to meet the evolving needs of the healthcare industry. By continuously innovating, we empower healthcare organizations to stay ahead of the curve and drive better outcomes. Oracle's customer community is another core pillar of our success. We're proud to have over 300,000 active members, a vibrant ecosystems of users, partners, and developers. What's particularly exciting is that 80% of the new features that Oracle rolls out are a product of our customers' feedback. This collaborative approach ensures that we're not just building solutions in a vacuum, but really creating tools that are designed directly with real-world needs of the health organizations we work with. Additionally, every customer has access to 100% dedicated support, ensuring that they receive the assistance and expertise they need to maximize their investment in Oracle solutions. Lastly, Oracle's leadership and expertise in the ERP and financial planning space are consistently recognized by industry analysts. We've earned over 200 modern best practices in various fields, helping customers optimize operations and streamline workflows. In fact, Oracle has been named a Gartner Magic Quadrant ERP leader and Gartner Magic Quadrant financial planning leader multiple times. These recognitions underscore our position as a trusted provider of comprehensive, scalable, and innovative solutions that drive measurable results for healthcare organizations. Next slide. Finally, I'd like to talk about Oracle's unified SaaS platform, which is built from the ground up to meet the specific needs of the healthcare industry. Unlike traditional ERP systems, Oracle's cloud-based platform integrates financials, procurement, supply chain, and human resource management, offering a holistic view of a whole organization's operations. What sets Oracle apart is the fact that this platform has really been designed with healthcare in mind from the start. It offers seamless data flows, real-time reporting capabilities, and predictive analytics to help healthcare organizations not only manage your day-to-day operations, but also to drive strategic decisions. With a unified platform, healthcare providers can break down silos between departments and leverage data in ways that were not previously possible. Whether it's reducing cost, improving patient outcomes, or enhancing compliance, Oracle's unified system or unified platform enables healthcare organizations to achieve more with less. In summary, Oracle's ERP solutions capabilities provide healthcare organizations with a comprehensive, reliable, and innovative solution for managing operations. With a customer-first approach, a deep understanding of the healthcare sector, and cutting-edge technology, Oracle is positioned to empower healthcare organizations to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow. And now I'd like to hand over the call to Joe Litchfield with Trilogy Health Services to share some of his experiences with Oracle ERP.
Thanks, Jaime. As mentioned, I'm with Trilogy Health Services, and we were founded in 1997, and we're dedicated to being the best healthcare company in the Midwest by providing our exceptional comprehensive care to seniors in living communities. We offer long-term care, assisted living, and independent living healthcare campuses, along with other ancillary services such as pharmaceutical, dialysis, lab, and rehabilitation. We currently operate over 130 senior living communities across 5 states, serving over 10,000 seniors in a world-class clinical support, innovative lifestyle programs, and a culture built on servant leadership and hospitality. We employ over 14,000 employees and have received numerous accolades, including being a certified Great Place to Work, Glassdoor's top 100 best places to work, and Fortune's best places to work in aging services. Next slide, please. So we began our journey with the accounting team facing many challenges in maintaining and supporting multiple accounting and reporting platforms. In addition to the platforms, we have multiple legal entities and many diverse reporting needs, including GAAP financial statement reporting, reports for investors, lenders, various statutory agencies, audit purposes, statistical, and internal management reporting. So to address these issues, Trilogy migrated from 6 sub-ledger accounting platforms to the Unified Fusion Cloud, utilizing many of its features, including the intercompany functionality and standardized reporting both within Fusion and the EPM platform. Albert will be covering some of the items in the ERP detail a little bit later in the presentation. We initially implemented about 5 years ago, and as with most organizations, the initial go live was primarily focused on day-to-day transactions and getting the job done within the new platform that has historically been done in the previous multiple systems. So over the years, we have matured in the usage of the platform as Oracle has continued to improve the product, as Jaime referred to earlier, with the hundreds of enhancements being added annually. And also, as Jaime mentioned, many of those enhancements coming from the customer Connect community, and Trilogy has been a member of that for years and has voted on a number of those enhancements to help Oracle along. Next slide, please. So the Fusion Cloud was chosen by the Trilogy accounting team because it offers the best-in-class cloud-based ERP platform, and it provided flexibility for us to scale up or down as our business needs changed. It addressed most, if not all, of the pain points that we were experiencing during our selection or driving our selection process and the business drivers that we were trying to address. With the flexible reporting tools, NexInfo was also able to help solve a business issue that we had with a direct impact on our day-to-day operations. For caution, we'll cover later in the presentation what we called our census-adjusted budget, which was a custom process that NexInfo built using the Oracle delivered tools that allows our campus leadership to make informed decisions related to spending on a daily basis based on the current census versus the traditional static annual budgets that are set once a year. Now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Albert, and we'll dig into some of the core ERP functionality. Albert?
Let's see. Thanks very much, Joe. I'll turn on my camera for the first part of my presentation. Let's see. So my goal here is to introduce you to the product and show you some of the features that Joe referenced earlier on. My background is I am a nuts and bolts finance guy, controller, and I've worked in various control roles for many, many years. And now I'm a solutions consultant with NexInfo. So just to give you a feel for the product, I've got 15 minutes, but the emphasis here is everything is fully integrated. It's very flexible and it's highly configurable, and it can really mold to your business needs. So I've started maybe just with 2 slides, and then we'll go into the product. And I want to touch on some of the pain points that Joe mentioned. So in the healthcare business, because you have multiple communities, which all often transcribes into multiple legal entities, sometimes the accounting with some ERP systems can get quite difficult. So what we have with the Fusion product or the Oracle ERP Cloud is a very, very flexible chart of account structure, which lends itself to a very, very flexible GL. So we have a flexible GL. You can have up to 30 segments. People don't normally use 30 segments. People tend to require maybe 5 or 6 segments. But the idea is that you can capture and record any combination of transactions that you require. Once you capture those transactions, we have the ability to push critical balances to you in real time. So you're constantly aware of critical balances hitting your GL. So it's not after the fact, you receive real-time notifications. And I'll show you how you receive those notifications in the system in a few minutes. But what we have is to receive those notifications is something called an account monitor, okay? And then also when something comes to your account monitor and based on your predefined parameters, you can quickly pivot and inquire on those specific balances. So to summarize on our GL structure, we've got a very, very flexible chart of account structure that can meet the needs of any healthcare organization. We have the set it and forget it notifications called an account monitor. And when certain parameters are hit, the notifications will come to your home screen, and then you can quickly drill into your GL balances. Okay, a couple of screenshots here to give you a feel for it. We've got an account monitor screen here in this dashboard. We create various account groupings. We can create these account groupings across multiple different ledgers, maybe gap reporting, stat reporting, etc. And then we can set our time periods, and based on certain parameters, the information will come to you. And then when you drill down, you get information both in a table format, but lots of visual aids as well. So we can see the same information throughout the application on in a graphical nature as well. Okay, so that's my first slide explaining, hopefully, the very flexible nature of the GL structure and how real-time notifications can come to you, and you can quickly pivot and take action and inquire on those notifications. Next, something that I find very useful is the ability to have automated intercompany transactions, not just at the GL level, but also at the AP level and also at the AR level, right throughout the application again. So for instance, if you have one vendor providing services to multiple communities, you can easily create a shared service model within the Oracle ERP environment, and you can quickly charge expenses or charge equipment and receipts to different entities, and behind the scenes, the system will automatically create the intercompany accounting for you. Okay, so the flexibility on a transactional level is outstanding, and something that a lot of ERP systems cannot handle. Then, of course, most often than not, you will have your own AR or outside billing system, but you can bring those transactions into the ERP system again. And again, you can have one AR transaction hitting multiple legal entities. And again, the intercompany accounting happens behind the scenes. So if that's a pain point, shared services or multiple services on a single invoice and requiring appropriate intercompany accounting, Oracle ERP Cloud can handle all of that. And then when it comes to making adjustments on the fly, often your AR accountant, if you're having a billing question or a dispute, etc., they will not be able to, or they do not want to create a credit memo behind the scenes. So we can quickly make adjustments in regular language, just say line language adjustment, X dollars, and behind the scenes, the appropriate credit memos or debit memos will generate behind the scenes. So lots of flexibility and intelligent automation when it comes to making adjustments to specific transactions. And again, something I'm going to show you when I go into the software in a second will be the ability to quickly inquire on a vendor or inquire on a specific patient transaction and pivot to that transaction and staying within the same screen and then make the adjustments as required. So the navigation and the personalization within the modern platform is very beneficial to a lot of users. So I will go into the software. I'll turn off my camera because I do not want to face away from you too much. So let me turn off my camera. Okay, and Joe, is there anything you'd like to add, or am I on track relative to the pain points that I'm mentioning here?
As you talk about, there are many accounting systems or many accounting organizations face many pain points. And again, as you've outlined, there's a number of them that are addressed within the Fusion platform that we found beneficial. And let's say intercompany is a prime example. In that case, as we say, we have 20 plus legal entities, and just being able to have the system facilitate a lot of that interactivity between the legal entities is a large benefit to us.
Awesome. Okay, and the accountant in me will stay focused initially on the intercompany here as well. So as I go into the product, so I actually have 10 minutes to show you the product itself. So this is live software. It's nice immersive UI. You can actually personalize it to your own business and stuff. We've got our own logo up here in NexInfo. I'm demoing today under a controller called Casey Brown. Casey can do quite a lot just for demo purposes, but remember the system itself is very, very secure, and you can configure it to restrict access, allow access to information, and also restrict the ability to perform certain transactions. So it's a very, very secure application. So Casey, for demo purposes, has access to lots of information here, which makes my demo much easier. I want to show you something called an account monitor that I mentioned earlier on. And so to access that account monitor, I've gone into something called the general accounting dashboard. You will see me navigate around the screen in a second. And again, the navigation is very, very intuitive, but I'm going to the general accounting dashboard. I'll just do a little drive-by, flyby of a couple of areas. I can monitor my close status across all of my entities, and I could drill down into my various subledgers as I require, but let's stay focused. Another area on our journals, again, I can monitor important journals coming to me, actionable insights that require attention, etc. And again, intercompany transactions, everything can be monitored from one spot. And you can see from a UI standpoint, it's very simple to interact with the application. So when it comes to an account monitor, let's first of all explore the account monitor. So an account monitor is a collection of different groups. Okay, so let's find an account monitor that would show me, let's say, monthly revenue. Okay, so I've got my account monitor for monthly revenue, and I can expand this if I want to see a little more real estate. Now I can also have multiple tabs open at once, but for demo purposes, let's just expand this. And now what my account monitor is doing, it's showing me for these revenue accounts, for these cost centers, revenue for the period 1023 to 1022. Okay, so I've created this account monitor, and it's very simple to create an account monitor, and information is being pushed to me based on what I have defined in my account monitor setup. So everything is very simple to configure and use. So to create or edit an account monitor, I would simply come in here, account grouping. I can edit my account monitor like this. And now I come in and I'm going to see the underlying configuration for my groupings of accounts that I want pushed to me. So here I've got my specific accounts. If I want to remove an account, I can highlight the row. I can remove. If I want to add a new account, I can simply click my plus sign, or if I want to duplicate specific rows, I can do that. I can expose different segments and things like that. So lots of flexibility and very simple to use, and everything is user-based, very intuitive. And here I see my account structure in this specific demo environment. And what I like about the account monitor is actionable insights. It's pushing real-time information to me based on critical parameters that I preset. If everything's running normally, I do not want anything to be pushed to me. But if something falls out of sync or outside of my regular expectations, maybe based on if it increases or decreases by a certain amount, I want that information to come to me in real time. So I define when I want information to come to me, and then I can define my comparison period. So very intuitive, very simple to use. So let's go back to my account monitor and let's use it as a user. So right now I've got an account monitor for key account groups. I can quickly pivot to a certain period. Let's say I am back in 12/20. I'll go back in time. So now what my account monitor has pushed to me on my dashboard, it has said to me, T&E is out of control, right? So I've got 201K spend versus the prior month, I've got 57K. So as a controller, I quickly want to understand what's going on there and maybe take action. So what do I do? So to start with, everything is drillable, everything is real time. So I come in and I can drill right down into my account. Actually, before I do that, I want to show you again how modern this UI is. So I can just simply move my different columns around and stuff like that. And I can very quickly expose different account groups. So I can really mold this to my own requirements. But let's get back to this 201K. That's a little concerning for Casey. So Casey is going to come in and he's going to drill down into his travel expenses. And now, because of the flexible nature of the chart of account structure, I can see that that was a summary account. And beneath that summary account, I have sub-accounts. So I can have multiple different hierarchies within my chart of account structure. I see my 201K. But what does that mean to me? Visually, I'm more of a graphs guy. I need to put right up in front of me. So let's have a look at this information in graphs. So now I see the same information in a graphical format. And it quickly brings my eye to this outlier here, which is 94.85K. It's account number 60512, 60512. And then I can hover over, I see it here. So multiple different ways to get to the same information. So now quickly, let's take action. Let's inquire. I could drill down into the source transactions. I will not do that. I'm going to use the power of what's called the S-base cube embedded within the chart of accounts, this flexible GL, and I'm going to pivot and look at an account inspector to see what's making up that 201K, because right now it's 400, the cost center is number 400. I've got my 201K, and now I've got an interactive pivot table. Okay, over here I've got these dimensions. So I've got a time dimension. And let's look at, I've got period to date. Let's look at quarter to date. Okay, let's refresh this and it updates quarter to date. Let's look at, right now it's one cost center. Let's look at all my cost centers to get more context, okay? And everything is real-time, interactive. Now I've got all my cost centers, let's see. And now I can start dragging and dropping these across the top, okay? So it's very nice. Now I get a visual into all of my cost centers. Now I can look at all my individual accounts again. Now I can export this into Excel to take further analysis, or I can get curious and I could maybe cost center number 461, GL account 60512, and now I can start drilling down into the source transactions. Again, I can drill down into more transactions and I can see that these are expenses that came in, and I can get right down in real time into the source transaction until I come to the underlying transaction, view the transaction, and I can see it's an expense report for Marcus Channing. I know he was on a trip, and then I can see, did Marcus, was he paid? And I can see, yep, Marcus was paid. Okay, I'll stop here and go on to point 2 very quickly to show you the flexible nature of the transactions when it comes to self-balancing and things like that. So that was my general accounting dashboard. So if I want to navigate and look at maybe a shared expense, I can come into payables. I have these are called springboards, and I'm going to get into my invoices now. And now I come over here and I've got all of these scanned invoices coming into the system. My vendors are sending me my invoices. The system is scanning these. But for now, let's pull up a specific invoice that I want to inquire on. Very simple to extract information and invoices from the system. So I'm going to pull up an invoice. It's AJR 101, just to show you the power of the accounting at a transactional level. So I've pulled up this vendor invoice. Let's go into this vendor invoice very quickly, okay? And let's look at the specific lines associated with this vendor invoice. And now I'm going to, I can see radiology consumables, post-op department consumables, 2 different departments. One entity is paying both of these. So what does that mean? I can see entity 101 and maybe radiology 102, a different department. But what does that mean? It means it needs to create intercompany transactions behind the scene. So let's have a look at what that looks like. I can go into the invoice. I can look at the status of the invoice. It needs to be approved before it's going to post to the GL. Let's have a look now at the accounting associated with that invoice. And I can see behind the scenes, I didn't post any of these intercompany transactions, but because company 101 now has a receivable for 1,000 plus the appropriate sales tax, 1095. It's created this intercompany transaction. And then company 102, department 102, community 102, it says community 102 owes community 101 1095. The key here is that all this accounting happens behind the scenes. Let's show you one other example before I hand it over to Prakash. Let's go into AR. It's not just journals, it's not just AP, it can be AR as well. So let's go into our receivables. I know I'm talking faster. And now in our receivables, here is my billing dashboard. I can import transactions from other systems. If there are import exceptions, it will automatically tell me. So lots of intelligence here. But let's have a very quick look at what an invoice looks like here, or a billing transaction. So my billing transaction here is going to be, excuse me, I think I almost lost it. I apologize. Take me a second. I'm going to look at transaction number 91768. Let's pop in here. So transaction number 91768. This invoice comes up. And again, this is the idea. You're not restricted to one entity providing services to one organization on behalf of an individual, and the accounting will happen behind the scenes again. So in this instance of X-ray services, of consultant fees, and then I can look at my invoice, and it can come from a different system, but I can still, if I want, if I connect it, I can see the actual image of the PDF here. And our PDFs are highly flexible. You can pretty much create your invoices in any shape or form that you require. And now very quickly, let's go look at the accounting associated with that. Again, one entity billing on behalf of another entity. So in this instance, I've got an intercompany receivable here, company 102, and I'm just going to move this over because X-ray fees, 7,500 revenue is coming in to X-ray fees here. So I'm creating a receivable from that specific entity, and then the payable in entity number 101 is right over, let me see, over here. Come on. Okay. So that is a quick example of the automated intercompany, and I will just wrap up with how I can quickly pivot to an individual transaction if I so choose. So I have a customer on the phone, and again, I'm back home on my dashboard, simple navigation, customers on the phone. For demo purposes, let's say our customer is Business World. They're providing employee health services. I can quickly get a 360 of all the information on the specific customer. Then staying within the screen, I can quickly go down. I can see the activities for that customer. And then I can have different viewpoints based on drop downs. And very quickly, I can come in here and I can start taking actions on specific transactions. So I could come into this invoice, view the balance details. I could make an adjustment rather than having to put in a credit memo. I can make a tactical adjustments such as what is this adjustment, what's this chargeback, etc. And then behind the scenes, and the system will do the appropriate accounting for me. Okay, so I don't have to tie myself up in debits and credits. The beauty and the flexibility of the Fusion product is the accounting happens behind the scenes and I can process my business transactions. Okay, I will now go back to my slides and I'm going to hand this over to Prakash. Okay, Prakash, and Prakash is going to introduce us to planning and budgeting again, which is fully integrated with the GL, and it has lots of power, lots of flexibility, as you're going to see in a few minutes here. Okay, I'll stop sharing, Prakash.
Sure. Thanks, Albert, for quickly showing us how the doer helps in capturing the day-to-day operation, right? And well, I'm going to focus on the next few minutes to talk on the thinker, which is the Oracle EPM, that stands for Oracle Enterprise Performance Management. And very specifically, we're going to talk more about the planning and budgeting and narrative reporting within the ecosystem, right? And if you look at Oracle's cloud portfolio within Oracle EPM business process, they deliver a lot of these business process out of the box, starting with your financial consolidation and close manager and account rec and narrative reporting, where it can help in building descriptive flavored reports and planning and budgeting and forecasting specifically designed for solving all your planning problems or even any complex calculations that you want to build or considering about any allocation that you want to solve in your accounting software, right? And today, Oracle also added a few more applications to the planning and budgeting, which includes the ESG or predictive cash flow, and a lot more which they are anticipating in the roadmap, right? And we have the profitability and cost management for allocation, mass allocations, and enterprise data management for to keep up one centralized repository to maintain all your metadata information, not just the COA segments, but also including your supplier or any party information that you want to centrally maintained, right? And you also have a tax reporting for maintaining open and closed taxonomies, right? So moving on to the next slide, so to specifically talk on the planning and budgeting, so this gives you a glimpse of how the whole structure of planning and budgeting is broken down into smaller pieces, and how planning and budgeting cloud business process helps in conquering each of these subsets individually, and that still consolidates to one placeholder, which is going to be your financial planning process, right? So talking from your revenue standpoint, how do you want to calculate and foresee your revenue, right? Is it by product, services, and customer type that you want to focus on to estimate what is going to be your revenue? And for your expenses, where it is again majorly broken down into two sections, where you wanted to see the payroll expenses more in detail by employee and then job categories, right? And the non-payroll expenses, how do you want to foresee it? Either you want to run rate basis, you want to project your future or use some adjustments, or do you want to calculate it offline and then put it directly into the system, right? Or even if you look at the projects module, where you may have direct or capital projects which you wanted to again foresee by individual project what's the expense is going to be and when it's going to be getting capitalized, right? And how do you want to manage the depreciation and amortization of those? And this gives you a quick glimpse of how the planning budgeting happens within your each individual GL accounts. Right. More in specific for Trilogy, where we had a unique requirement from Trilogy where we wanted to do this CAP, census adjusted budgeting, right, which needs to be calculated on a daily basis. So what is census adjusted budget, right? It's typically a financial planning numbers, right? So which is used widely in the healthcare or senior living facilities or similar industries, right? So where this involves adjusting the operational budget based on the actual census that we're going to get it, or even the occupancy level numbers that you're going to take it, which includes your residents, patients, or user given time, right? So it can be anything that helps in re-foreseeing your budget that you are required to be spent, or your business users are allowed to spend on a daily basis, right? So what this also means, this is giving a more improved accuracy. Let's say I estimated my expense to be like 12K K in a month, and then based on my current actuals, which is my daily actuals, I go and revisit and then look at the numbers. Okay, 12K is no longer going to work for me tomorrow, right? So it's going to either be increased to $15,000, or now I have less occupancy, so I don't need to allow my users to spend more in a specific department or in a specific location. So I'm going to reduce the budget, right? So from 12K to I'm going to reduce it to 8K. So when people try to create a purchase order and there is a soft limit that pops up and then say, hey, you are going over the budget, or you are still allowed to spend more within that, right? So that's specifically how the do your aligns in terms of what the thinker is going to help in reducing or improvising the budget numbers. This also increased a lot of efficiency in the day-to-day operations, where the Oracle ERP Cloud was efficiently able to pick the most updated numbers from the EPM system, and then this also helps in quick decision making, right? So whether I'm allowed to spend money or not allowed to spend money. So moving further, I'm going to talk more specifically about the pain points and where it actually helped Trilogy to feel the benefit out from the Oracle EPM application, right? So before EPM, they had a fragmented data sources, and then the time-consuming process in manually cooking up these numbers, and then in case of any errors, they have to go back and then look at the numbers and then find what had actually been missed in the calculation. And sometimes this also had some regulatory requirement, right? So where they were not able to meet the compliances when there is some error, human errors happen in between. And with the help of Oracle EPM, so what we are currently doing, I'll show you a flowchart of how it's been done today. But with Oracle EPM, we were able to get it to an accurate and we were able to stick with the compliances, because this is all controlled by the system automatically on a daily basis. And the numbers are real-time insights, because we have these numbers calculated with an EPM, and then we push it to your Fusion ERP Cloud and the budgetary control module, which helps in mapping and then comparing the actuals versus budgeted number versus the budgetary control number, which were being provided by EPM on a daily basis. And this also helps in making quick decision, because all these reports are built within the Fusion ERP Cloud system. And this comes up with the comparison of your actual versus budget numbers, and what has been changed historically from yesterday through today, right? And this is where the Oracle EPM heads towards, right? I'm recording what is happening in my day-to-day operation in my Oracle ERP Cloud, and then my thinker is saying what would be better for tomorrow, right? So quickly moving on to the next slide, this is a flowchart of how this is happening within the EPM system, right? So we take the census information from the census software, right? And then we feed it into our EPM application. So in EPM, we maintain the budgeted census as well as the monthly census, which is the monthly average. And we also take the daily numbers from the source census in application. And we also have the financial data, which includes both our GL data, actuals, and then the budget number, which are all already there here in the EPM system. And then we calculate the cap, right? So how do we calculate this cap? So if we peek into the cap, so this is what is happening, right? So within the cap calculation, we have a crosswalk mapping for PPD, per patient day, and cap, which is the census adjusted budget, right? So the PPD is simply taking the budgeted number by the budgeted census, and we get the number, and then we multiply that PPD with our revised daily census number. That gives us the revised budget number, which we call it as a CAB. And then through attributes, we put it into a staging database, and from the staging database, we push it to the Fusion ERP Cloud, right? So where the budgetary control kicks in, right, when people try to rise a PO. And the CAB crosswalk mapping is specifically tells us what are the combinations that the CAB is applicable for, right? So what stat account and then what stat departments are dependent to what natural accounts, and then your real departments in your chart of account or in your business, right? So that's a quick view of how this happens on a daily basis. So with that being said, I'm going to quickly toggle to the application to show you what are the other differences we were able to benefit our customer, especially within this, right? So So starting with let's say I'm a department manager, I log into the application, I see a quick view of my dashboard, and then my dashboard says my expense has grown 41% from last year to the current year. And now I wanted to understand what is causing, right? So whether my business is growing or what's exactly happening in my business. So I look at my salaries, and my salaries increased by 20%. That tells me maybe my business is growing because my workforce is growing, and meaning my business is also growing, right? And I just also wanted to confirm if this 20% is something, am I overpaying my employees or underpaying my employees, right? So simply by going into the headcount to find the differences between what were my actual headcount last year versus current year, and then go into a trend basis to identify the anomalies, and then I understand, okay, so that gives me more information about, yes, my salary is increasing because my headcount increased. And so the 20% of my expense is good, right? So my business is growing. And what happens to the remaining 20%? What are those operational costs, right? So that's where we have of the drop down list, which in the dashboard tells us, hey, let me go on to the utilities and then supplies to see how my trends looks like, right? So I'm going to go into my supplies and then see my supplies looks like no, not much of a fluctuation, right? So it seems to be like the pattern seems to be like normal. There is no anomaly. So I can switch between one operational expense to the other to identify the anomalies. And all these dashboards helps me to quickly identify what is happening and what I'm currently doing and where do I need to focus more so that I can make my business better next day, right? And to foresee all these information ahead of time, so that's where we segregate this into multiple buckets. Starting with revenue, how do I want to foresee my revenue? So this is my revenue look like for my last year, and for the next year, I wanted to take some run rates. This is where I have my multiple trends. Either I start with the prior year actual average, or I'm going to take current year actual average. So Oracle offers 12 plus out of the box trend methods, which I can use it as my run rate for foreseeing my future, right? And similarly, I go ahead and then see how my salary expenses are going to look like, right? So salary expenses are another major expenses that I do it, right? So and I'm gonna go by individual segments, or I can stop it at a high level and then see what my global assumptions are for my taxes. I'm going to keep it to 7% as my FICA taxes, right? So and my salary is bi-weekly, and then when I'm gonna give all those merit increases to my employees, right? So I feed in all these assumptions to the system, and the system automatically foresees all those information ahead of time. And finally, when I'm done with my planning process, I go ahead within the system with the income statement, with the out-of-the-box hierarchy to see how my numbers are looking like versus current year and then the next planned year. And in addition to this planning process, I also plan at my census number, right? So which are my units, my occupancy, and my periodic census or daily census. How are these information looking like, right? And also I also provide a variance analysis chart to my department heads. Wherever I need their input, I circulate this form, and people who have access as a department manager to whatever departments they have access to, when they log in and then they see all these numbers, yes, this number seems to be high, maybe you know what, we have hired a contractor to do this activity for, right? So that's kind of a comparison comments that we usually take it from our business users. And finally, on a quarterly basis, where I wanted to run a descriptive report, right? So this is a narrative report, right? So just like a 20-page document that comes straight out from the system, right? So which comes with comprises of all these descriptive content. And all these numbers comes directly from my EPM application, right? So whether this assisted living compared to the last year and the current year, whether it is increased or decreased, by a certain number, and is it over budget or is it under budget compared to my current year planned budget numbers, right? And that's how we build the system robustly to thinking about like 5+ years down the line, how what are the key things that I'm estimating or foreseeing as a change in my organization, and the system has been built to accommodate all those changes, right? And this is something that I can always publish it in multiple formats, right? So that I can download this or I can publish this report. So right now, if I go back to my editing mode, right? So this tells me the authoring phase is completed, and right now I'm at the reviewing phase. And then once when it is reviewed, I sign it off, and meaning no one can go and tamper this published document, right? So and each of these sections, I can collaboratively bring in multiple people or one individual or a group of users to contribute to build each individual sections. That should be exciting, right? So let me go back here to my slides. Let me quickly summarize what we have seen so far, right? So we have built a system that fits into Trilogy's ecosystem, right? And not just Trilogy's ecosystem. So for any customer, we tailor-made or we pick and choose the standard out-of-the-box functionalities. On top of that, wherever it is required, we customize the business process, and then we make it to fit within your ecosystem. And that's where it helps in giving real-time insights and making timely decisions or streamlining the whole process flow within your ecosystem. So let me hand it over back to Erica to quickly go forward with the next steps.
Thank you, Prakash. And now it's poll time. And today's question is, do the pain points we've talked about in accounting and finance resonate with what you are facing? Go ahead and add your response into the chat so we can go ahead and see where everybody is at this point. And next, we will go ahead and have a little surprise for everyone. Prakash, if you can go to the next slide, please. I do want to thank everybody for joining today's webinar. We hope you have found the information helpful in understanding how Oracle can help optimize your healthcare organization's operations. And to dive deeper into how Oracle can address your unique challenges, we are offering a free 2-hour quick Oracle assessment. During this focus sessions, our experts will work with you to uncover how Oracle solutions can streamline your processes, enhance efficiency, and address specific pain points in your organization. So Christmas has come early this year, and I welcome everybody to go ahead and add your questions into the chat, and we will take this opportunity to answer those questions at this moment. Okay, if you don't have any questions at this moment, we'll go ahead and wrap up the webinar. Again, thank you very much for joining, and don't hesitate to reach out. We will be reaching out to everybody that has attended with our contact information. So if you're interested in scheduling that assessment, we are ready to help you. I hope everybody has a great holiday season, and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.